You know, Baldwin was someone, for example, who wrote a lot about love. He was very interested in the question of love. And yet, in his time and in his day, he probably could not have written a book on love that would have received a great deal of attention. Because I think in his day, people would have said, well, what does this, homosexual black man from Harlem have to teach us about love?
How did his thoughts on love impact your 3 books on love?
Completely and utterly. I mean, when he talks about the whole idea of, he says that if you can't suffer, you can't grow up. Or, my favorite Baldwin quote that I'm telling people all the time, he defines sentimentality, and this is Baldwin at his most queenly and lavish. Sentimentality, Baldwin says, is the ostentatious parading of excessive and spurious emotion. It's the mark of dishonesty, the inability to feel. And that's Baldwin saying that if we want to do the work of love, we've got to get past shallow sentiment. We've got to be willing to do the hard work. And he does it in his writing. He does it to illuminate, what does love really mean? He tried to elevate the relationships between gay men past the sexual and to really get to that place of the emotions, of how can people be humanized in the act of loving? How can people be transformed through erotic and romantic connection? And that's a very different Baldwin from the early Baldwin writing about race. It's the Baldwin of longing, of yearning for his own space of love and wholeness. And I took all of that as something that inspired me in writing Salvation, Black People and Love. He's there from the very beginning because he was one of the thinkers who really put that on the table. Are black people going to allow themselves to be so dehumanized by the impact of racism and other forms of domination that we're going to miss out on love?